and for 2 hours to facilitate digestion. There's nothing magic about it, it just makes it easier to digest. Vegetables are our mainstay, and all the green vegetables. Of course, now this meal we can have our starchy vegetables too, so really all the vegetables we can have here. We're going to make our dressing now, at least we're going to talk about it. I'm going to give you the recipe, and it's in my book, Have I Got Good News for You? It's also, I'll send it to you if you ask for it in your self-addressed stamped, double-stamped envelope. Now you're going to need 1½ cups of olive oil, and put it in your blender, and you need a 1½ cups of plain yogurt, and you need a 1½ cups of mayonnaise. Now we choose eggless mayonnaise. You should need mayonnaise from a health food store. We use eggless mayonnaise because eggs have got protein in them, and then it's better for your combining. It's easier to digest if it's eggless. So a 1½ cups of that, and 1½ teaspoons of powdered garlic, and 3 tablespoons of fresh lemon juice. Now, if you make your lemon juice ahead, you can freeze it then, but don't get the reconstituted kind because that's got a lot of chemicals. Learn to read your labels. That's so essential. Read your labels. You're in for a surprise of your life. You know, not only does it say sugar, but it says dextrose, and all of these things are all sugar products too, but learn to read labels. Okay? Then raw honey. Now, raw, that means the kind that gets thick. And you should ask for uncooked honey. As soon as they cook honey, it turns into what sugar? Similar to sugar, so you want to get it raw. Ask your health food store to get it for you. Off the shelf, generally in the store, it's been heated, and once it's heated, it changes the composition. Then cayenne pepper, a dash of cayenne pepper in it, and then turn your blender on, and it'll turn out like this. And it's wonderful. We call it our wonderful salad dressing, if you want to ask for the recipe. Wonderful salad dressing. And again, I said it's in my book. It is so good. We use it a lot of times. We make, you can eat these non-starchy vegetables anytime, you know, after when the digestion cycle starts. If you get hungry in the afternoon, have some vegetables. We take cucumbers, scrub them, and slice them up. You can eat the skin if they don't have wax on them. And put the dressing over top, and it is really excellent. And we use the dressing for so many things, coleslaw, and for our salads. Like I said, if you're eating it with protein, just use a little bit because the oil has a hard time digesting with protein. If you want to have a big salad for lunch, and don't put any protein on it because there's protein already in your vegetables, just have a lot of your dressing then. If you go to want to go to a restaurant, then take a little dressing along in a little container. But this salad dressing, we couldn't live without. Like I said, we keep it in the refrigerator all the time. Okay? Well, let's see what we've got next. Let's talk about the starchy vegetables. Now, we know all the green vegetables, parsnips, and all of the green vegetables, cabbage, which I wanted to talk about this chopper with cabbage. You can chop like this, of course, but I like these food processors that they have. This afternoon I chopped up some cabbage. It makes it so much easier to chop that way. You have it slicing on one side and chopping on the other. So it doesn't take you so much time. Also, another thing we like to do at our house as recipes is pretend we're having a salad bar. I get all my little dishes out, and we put all kinds of different vegetables. And if it's a protein meal, we put, say, cheese and eggs and slivered almonds in there. You can take your pick of those. But if it's a starch meal, well, we just put the vegetables in and eat the starch beside. But it's really fun to have all the different things. People can make their own salads just like they like to. So try that sometime. You know, say, hey, we're having a all-you-can-eat salad bar tonight, kids. So see if you can get them interested. I wasn't beyond bribery when my children were little. I remember when I first got them off sugar, I said, now, if you go without sugar products for 6 weeks, I'll buy you a dog. We've had 3 dogs all these years, and I've had to clean up their messes and let them out. But we really saw the difference. When you can get your children to go off of sugar, you'll really see the difference in their dispositions, and also additives and preservatives, and get them to eat healthy. You'll really notice the difference. And it's so important. I can't believe the difference in people if they start eating right. And I just wish I could convince you. Let me see now. We've got the legume category. which is in the starch category, although legumes are really a protein-starch combination, which makes them very hard to digest. You see, that's why people have a lot of trouble with flatulence when they eat beans. But they need to be soaked for 12 hours before they're cooked, and then they need to be cooked for 12 hours, and so that's a long process. But if you can eat them, they're a good starch meal. Now, the vegetables that I started to tell you about are corn, and corn on the cob, and frozen corn. You can use your frozen vegetables in the wintertime more. If you want to make soup, we talk about, you go to the meat store and ask if you can get soup bones, just the bones, and then you come home and you cook them for a long time in distilled water until you get the goodness out of them, get rid of the bones, and if there was any meat, get rid of that so you don't combine wrong, and then you put your vegetables in it and make a really nice soup. In the wintertime, that is just excellent. You experiment with your different vegetables. I made some brown rice today, and this is another recipe that I'll send you if you write to me. I'll give it today. This is the regular brown rice. Now, all of these grains should be refrigerated because you're going to get, I remember when I first joined the co-op, after I'd been in it for a while and I hadn't used some of the things that I thought I was going to use, then there were little moths flying around my house, and I didn't understand it. But it was because, this is why, see, we use preservatives, is because that's what happens. You see, if you leave a loaf of white bread laying on the counter, it won't ever mold, the rats won't eat it or anything. But the whole grain breads will, and the same thing with the whole grain. These are live foods, and the bugs will try to get into them. So you need to, I keep a lot of things in the freezer. My cornmeal, my flour, my grains in the freezer, because that way they'll stay fresh. At least refrigerate them. Now, the brown rice, the recipe is use 5 parts of water for each part of rice, and you have to use distilled water. And soak for 7 hours before cooking. Now, you can soak them in your broth if you want to. And then cook for approximately 40 minutes or until water is taken up, and use herbs to season. It's good with vegetables, or even again if you don't have hypoglycemia or candida, unprocessed honey or maple syrup. Now, I used a special kind. There's all kinds of rice. I used a gourmet brand that time, but you can use different things. And take that rice and you can make a vegetable casserole. You can experiment, use the recipes, and see what your family likes. And if your family doesn't like it, then you eat it. You like it. Because it's going to take a while, believe me, it's going to take a while. And don't expect miracles, I know, because I've been through it. I'm still going through it. You think you'll never get them off of junk food, but at least you get off of it and you try to educate them and tell them that Mom and Daddy didn't know at the time, you know, we're not going to buy it anymore. If you want it, buy it with your own money. And that will cut down a lot of it. Okay, now this way of eating isn't just for the overweight. This way of eating is for everybody. So don't think just because you're thin, sometimes thin people have more problems than overweight because they have all these toxins on their organs rather than out here where overweight people have them, so don't forget that. Now, some of the things that we eat are the taco shells, and I got organic kind here, and I put my coleslaw in it a lot of times. Sometimes I put a little brown rice in it, then I put my coleslaw in it, or I put vegetables in it and a little of the dressing over top. Very good. You can warm it up a little bit first. The same thing, probably even better, would be the soft kind because it isn't so hard. You really need to chew a lot. You can't soak these taco shells, so they aren't really the best, but the things that I've talked about before are better for you. But this is much better than the way people normally eat. These corn tortilla shells, you warm them up and then fill them with a salad and just roll them right up. I think the Fit for Life has got a recipe called tortilla boogies or something that I really think sounds really good. Okay, another one is whole wheat pocket bread. And you can open up the top with the pocket bread, pita bread, and fill it up with a salad. Or, if you want to, you can take a knife. I've got a friend that cuts the pita pocket right open, and it's better for you not to have all that yeast bread, so this unleavened bread would be better. Open it up, put in vegetables. You can make vegetable sandwiches. If you're going to use bread, get it from a health food store or make it yourself with really good grains, coarse grains, so that it will help clean out your digestive tract and your body.